Territorial as a game stands pretty close to my heart. I mean, I've been in the community for well over a year and a half now, and while I've had my ups and downs, I've always enjoyed the game, and especially the community. But recently I feel as if that's starting to change, and I know a lot of people who feel the same way. This video is sort of an explanation of why people feel like the game is going in the wrong direction, but equally, it's a cry for help. David? Let's get into it. Before we start talking about Territorial's many flaws, I'd like to take a moment to recap the game's history and how it was made in the first place. This is of course because I'm not expecting some of the newer viewers to know as much as I do about the game. If you'd like to skip this segment, timestamps are in the description. Territorial is a solo indie game made by the one and only creator, David Satcher. Originally, and according to the wiki, the game first started development back in the spring of 2020. The official release date is unknown, with estimates around late July or early August. It's in no means an old game, but at the same time it's gone a long way since the beginning. After its release, the next big update was adding Android and iOS support. I think that's when it first really started gaining traction. Previously, there was no marketing for the game and it was still very raw. With the addition of mobile came a big change because now it was being advertised on app stores at the very least. Fast forward to late December that year, and right before the new year, the game reached its first big milestone of 1 million attacks made in the game. At the time, the game averaged 2 to 5 million seconds played per day, which is honestly not that much considering the numbers that we get these days, but it was still pretty good for the first few months. And most importantly, it was growing rapidly. Every day, on average, 200,000 more seconds were played. That means that by the 1-year anniversary of the game, it averaged 14 million seconds played a day. That's nothing compared to what was about to come. Something big was going to happen. Something that would change the future of the game. And well, you've probably heard of it. Or him. Drew. Drew was a popular geography YouTuber at the time, and by the time he got his hands onto Territorial, it had blown up because of him. The exact day he uploaded his first video on the game, it had gotten almost 200 million seconds played, which is actually much more than we get to this day. This marked a new era for the game because then on forward it averaged a couple hundred million seconds played each day, with a peak of 325 million late March 2022. But not much happened after that. The creator had kind of failed to use that opportunity to grow even further, and the statistics show exactly what I'm talking about. 325 million seconds played is still the peak to this day, with the game not hitting 200 million seconds played in over a year now. But wait, what happened? And why am I bringing this up now? Before I can answer that, I just want to remind you to, what was on the script again? Oh yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future uploads. But in all seriousness, it would really be appreciated. I only have 14 subscribers at the time of writing, and honestly, that's like 5% of y'all. I think you can do better. You can always unsub if you hate me, of course, but hey, give me a chance. Now, back to the video. The reason I'm bringing this slow decline up right now is because over the past 5 months, something has changed. Now, of course, there has been a very noticeable activity drop this year, with us dropping down 100 million seconds played in a day for the first time in 3 years. But that's not the only thing. It feels like the developer has just stopped caring. All of the past 3 major updates to the game have been 3 of the most badly received updates in the history of the game. Which leads us to the first reason of why a game is failing. The creator has lost touch with the community. I think the goal of a game developer is to make updates that the people want, to fix problems the community cannot live with. It feels more and more that the creator doesn't want what's best for the community, but whatever random idea he gets on his morning walk. A great example of this is in the most recent update, Gold, which is basically a currency system for territorial accounts. Like, that is not what the community and the people need right now. It's totally random. The main talk these days in the community is about problems with the game. Take a good look in suggestions in the Discord server, or even just general chat, and you will see what I mean. People are getting fed up. My point is that you can only make a finite amount of bad updates before people start leaving, and that has started to happen, unfortunately. Another big change that the community despised, and still do, is the banning of mods. Mods and clients like BetterTT and FX Client were the backbone of the community. That's because these clients were made by the people, the actual players themselves. It's kind of hard to imagine a world where it's logical to make this sort of change. First, the people feel like you're getting distant from the community, and then you start banning clients, the main way people got over that problem in the first place. Simply put, it's self-sabotage. Clients are the main way people got over the problems with the game. I mean, honestly, it would be fine if clients were banned, but their features were implemented into the core game. After all, there's a reason why people use them more than the base game. The banning of clients didn't only affect the people. It also affected the creators of these clients. One of them, Platz, who was well known in the community, said that it felt like his hard work to do what the creator couldn't just disappeared overnight. Everything about the story just makes me enraged because it's not logical. It's bad for the community, and when the game is on a slow decline, community is the number one thing you should be focusing on. I want to also just reserve a little segment to Platz, the creator of Better TT. After the banning of mods in the community, me and a few others felt really bad, because of his story and also because of Better TT. So we decided to start a little fundraiser for him as a thanks for running the client, being a member of the community for multiple years now, and for his new project, Warfront.io. I might make a separate video on Warfront.io, but it's basically a new game made by Platz with similar concept to Territorial.io, but with his own twist. I myself donated 10 British pounds because personally Better TT was the main reason I stayed in the game for multiple occasions. It's been pretty rough without it. I also just want to give a massive shout out to Platz. Go check Warfront.io in the description below. I'll also send a link to the fundraiser if you're interested in donating. Back to the video. In general, the game isn't looking good right now. To be fair, the game has been on a slow decline for a long time now, but the reason I'm only mentioning this right now is because of how the creator is replying to this. Honestly, if I were him, I would be focusing on building a satisfied community, especially with the game on the decline. But what he's doing is the polar opposite. Ask anyone in the community today if they like what the creator is doing with the game, and I can guarantee that nearly everyone will say that they're disappointed. For fuck's sake, the day mods were banned, people including myself were creating anti-David propaganda and demanding the community be listened to. This isn't even the only time it's happened either. Earlier this year, he made an update overhauling the points 1 system for clans and team games, and it was ass. There was even a vote made in the suggestions forums to revert the change, and that got almost 300 people saying yes, which is still to this day the highest amount of people approve of a change. And yet, he did not listen. This has been Lumi, please subscribe, and see you next time.